Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to clarify some of the important vocab terms you'll need to know as a teacher or staff member when using Canvas. And these vocab terms really relate to the different ways of duplicating and copying something as well as sharing, which are very different than what they were on our former learning management system. So the first one I'm going to show you and what I believe to be the most helpful is duplicate. So duplicate on Canvas means it's going to create a fresh copy of a resource and it's not tied to that original copy. I always like to make sure as a best practice that whenever I have that fresh copy made, I always go in and I rename it, whatever it's supposed to be, but it's not going to reflect any edits you make on the new version on the original. So that's super helpful. And there's no creating another copy, refreshing the page like what we had to do in our old LMS to do this. So right here's an example of this. So if I come over here, this is just a page, but you can also do this for entire modules. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to see my little menus here, the three dot button, and I'll do duplicate. All right. So it makes a version of it there. It tells me this is the new fresh copy. And whenever I've duplicated something by default, it's always inactive. So it won't confuse your students because they won't be able to see it. But that is a helpful thing there. And if I need to just delete this or move it somewhere else, I can drag and drop to move it around. So I love the duplicate feature, which is usually available on the module screen, just because it makes copying things super easy and it won't affect your original version. All right. So the next one I'm going to show you is one that is called Share To. So let's say that I really love, so Share To. So let's say I really love this module and I want to make this available to anyone and everyone that's in the Canvas world. So Canvas has a feature called the Canvas Commons, and that's where you can post things, share things so that other people can search for them and find them and import them into their Canvas courses. So to do that, I could technically open any one of these items and I'll have that option from there. But I'm just going to imagine I want to put this whole entire PD module there. So I'll click this three dot button. And then what I'm going to do is do share to commons. All right. So that is what that button is. And if I select share to commons, then it's going to open this screen here where I'm going to plug in some of the things I want people to know about this resource if they search for it or find it. So I can make this available to all of BCSE. If I do public, then anyone can find it. So if you want it to just be in BCSE, I can check that box. And what I can do is decide what type of resource this is. So this isn't something that's necessarily required for the license here. Just make sure you pick the right one. And then right here's my description. The tags are the things I want to be super clear about. Basically, these are the keywords that people will enter to find this resource. So you'll really want those to be specific. And then you do have to have a picture. So that's what the Share To feature is. It's kind of equivalent to the library in our former learning management system. So Share To is great if you want to publish things for anyone and everyone to find, or for a lot of people in BCSE to find, or really your whole building. The other thing that you can do is Send To. So I really like this one if maybe you are working with a couple teachers in your department and you just want to share something with them really efficiently versus post it in the Commons. So Send To is another option you'll see. I could technically see that option if I open any one of these pages or resources that I have. But if I want to send this entire module, I can send it to another user in Canvas. It can be in my building and any other building in BCSE. Basically, I can send it to any staff member that I would like to. So I can start typing in their name. And when their name appears, I can just click send, and then they will get a notification and an email that tells them something has been shared with them. So to give you an example of what this looks like, if I had something that had been shared with me, there'd be a little alert icon over here, a notification bubble across my account button. And then I would click shared content. And here's just examples of things that have been shared with me from other teachers. And if I wanted to view this, I can click preview. And if I wanted to put this in any one of my Canvas courses, I would just do import. All right. So that is what you can use the Send To option for. It is so great for sharing templates, resources, especially within your department or grade level team. The last one I'm going to show you is one called Copy To. Now, I told you earlier that duplicate was my favorite one in Canvas because what it does is it separates, it doesn't make any type of connection between the original copy and your new duplicated version. The other option here is Copy To, and that's really the opposite. So if I want to use the copy to button, this feature is really designed for you to copy a resource from one course into another one of your courses where you have a teacher role. The thing to know with copy to, though, is that whenever you copy a resource from one course into another, unless you go through and rename all of those resources, any edits you make on one are going to show up on the other. So you really have to go through and rename those items if you don't want those edits to show up. So if I have this module, and let's imagine that I'm teaching a US history course, and I really like this module, and I also want to copy it into my world history course, then I could click copy to, and it even gives you an alert message here that it's going to, mess some things up if you start to do that. So I can start typing my course here. I can find it. And then whenever I want that to be copied over, I'll click copy, and it will give me a little notification message when that copy has finished. So just know copy to, oftentimes whenever you copy it to another course, it will reflect those edits. So that's why I really love the duplicate feature. Unless you go through and rename those items in the other course, then it will reflect those edits. If you go through and rename them, then they are separate items, and any edits you make on one should no longer affect the other. So I just wanted to make sure that those terms were clarified because they are pretty new for us and just a change in vernacular. If you have any questions, please let us know, and happy learning and growing in Canvas.